Hello friends. Now in this presentation we are going to discuss about the distillation and silos concept and their safety precautions in the distillation process as well as silos under the construction safety. So before discussing the safety precautions for the distillation, we must know what exactly the distillation is. So basically the distillation is a separation process, that is the separation of liquid component mixture with the help of thermal energy or with the help of heat. So generally when we are talking about the laboratories, when we are talking about the small scale industries or some residential distillation methods, then we generally use directly the gas or the gas burners or the electric coils for a thermal media. So with the help of these gas burners or electric coils, we are providing the heat to the liquid mixture, and with the help of boiling points and their relative volatility, we are going to separate these components. And when we are talking about the distillation method in the industry or in the refineries, in the chemical industries, then normally we are using the low pressure steam or the medium pressure steam as a thermal media. So depending on the process, depending on the quantity, depending on the purity of the product requirement, we have to use the different thermal medias, right? So generally when we are talking about the concept of this distillation, so from this diagram you can understand what exactly the distillation components are. So basically the distillation process involves the distillation equipment, and in this distillation equipment the main component is distillation column, another is condenser, and third one is reboiler. So reboiler, condenser and distillation column are the major three elements in the distillation equipment. So with the help of these three elements, we are separating these liquid components. So generally from this diagram, you can understand what exactly the basics of distillation is. So we are feeding the multi-component mixture or the binary mixture depending on the availability of that mixture again. So we are going to feed this mixture, that is liquid mixture, in this distillation column. So the column may be a plate column, which is shown in this diagram. That may be a pack column. So some packings are used like Paul ring, cross partition ring, rashing ring, burl saddles, etc. So packings can be used instead of plates. So depending on the requirement, again we are not going to detail in the discussions of this plate column, pack column comparison, their pressures, etc. So generally we are clearing the distillation concept. So we are going to feed this liquid component mixture in this column, and then this liquid from the column is sent to the reboiler. So in this reboiler we are providing the heat, and with the help of this heat, this boiling point, on the basis of this boiling point, this liquid component, which is less volatile component or the high volatile components, are available in this reboiler. So high volatile component or the more volatile component is separated on the basis of this thermal energy. If the more volatile component, that is less boiling point, can be easily separated out or initially separated out first, and then the less volatile component or maximum boiling point component is separated out. Then so more volatile component is initially separated out from this reboiler and sent to the distillation column, and then it is passed through the distillation column. So these are the vapors. So this liquid component is going to convert into vapors in this reboiler. So if the boiling point is lesser, the volatility is more, and that is why more volatile components are separated out first from this reboiler, and maximum of these vapors which may be passed through this column from bottom to top is having a high purity component, that is more volatile component. So these vapors are sent to the condenser, and in this condenser the temperature and pressure is constant. So at constant temperature and pressure condition, the vapors are converted into liquid phase by removing the latent phase. So by removing the latent heat, these vapors are converted into liquid phase, and these liquid components can be stored in the reflux drum. So if the purity requirement is more, then we can send the part of this condensed liquid to the top of the column again. So that is called as liquid reflux. If the product is having the required purity, then that can be separated out as a top product. So this is the distillation process, where in the top product we are having the more volatile component, which is having the more volatility. It means the less boiling point component is separated out on the top, and obviously indirectly the less volatile component is at the bottom of this column or in the reboiler. So suppose if we are having only two components, so more volatile component is separated out at the top product, and the less volatile component is separated out as a bottom product. So in this way we can also separate the multi-component mixture with the help of different trays, output arrangement, and other options. So this is the simple phenomena of distillation. Now when we are talking about the thermal media, so obviously temperature is one of the factor, and indirectly that is the hazard. So reboiler and its temperature depends on the boiling point of that components. If the temperature is more, obviously the pressure is also more. So temperature and pressures are the major parameters in this separation technique. And if you assume this distillation process at the residential area in the laboratories, so these distillations column and these assemblies are in terms of centimeters or in terms of foot only. But when we are talking about the distillation column and reboiler and condenser arrangement in the industries, in the refineries, or in the distilleries, then these are in terms of floors. So generally 3 to 4 floor height of this distillation assembly is a normal case in the distilleries as well as in the refineries, right? So if the height, if the weight, if that components are on such a height, then we have to take care about the distillation process, and we have to take care about while installing these equipments or the elements like distillation column, reboilers, condenser, reflux drum, feeding arrangement, plate arrangement, etc. So the supporting structure, the space availability, the headroom availability, then the thermal energy supplies, insulators, these are the different parameters which we have to observe while installing all these types of elements, because we are talking about the construction, that is distillation column construction, and that is why while installing, while constructing these distillation systems, we have to take care about these different parameters like structural supports, then temperature parameter, pressure parameters, and the fuels which are used for the reboiler purpose. Then we have to also take care about the cooling arrangement, condensing arrangement, because we are reducing some of the temperatures of the liquid as well as the vapors. We are also converting these vapors in terms of liquids. So cooling should be proper. Then we have to control on the temperatures in the reboiler. We have to take the safety measures while feeding the fossil fuels, because in some of the reboilers we are feeding the biobriquettes, in some of the reboilers we are feeding oil, in some of the uh, reboiler we are feeding the coal as a fossil fuel. So depending on the requirements, we have to take care about this construction installation activity of this distillation system. So some of the guidelines in the distillation process. So what are the safety measures during the distillation? So the distillation process may be the rectification, that may be a refinery process. So when we are talking about the distillation as a rectification, so normally the main product is alcohol. So the example of these alcohol products are nothing but the distilleries. So whatever the distilleries available in India or anywhere, so distilleries main product are alcohol. So that alcohol may be of different products, different composition and variety of percentages. And when we are talking about the rectification process, sorry, when we are talking about the refinery process, the main product is gasoline. So the different products may be there in the refinery systems, like white petrol, diesel, oil, then waxes, coal tar, etc. So distillation may perform in the distilleries, that may perform in the refineries. So the majority of the application is in the alcohol industry or in the distilleries, and the main product is alcohol and different derivatives. And the second major application is in the refineries, where the different petroleum products can be obtained. So even if the distiller, that is the operator who is going to operate, observe and control this distillation activity, even if he is having the experience in the distillation process, but again, depending on the location, depending on the equipments used and depending on the behavior of that person in this process, must be observed by the third person again, because it is observed that, and statistical data also suggests that, even though we are having the more experience in the distillation process, but still there are some accident cases, and the accident cases root cause is generally the casualness or the behavior change of that person in that distillation process. So there is a fire and explosion hazards which is available or present in that distillation process, because when we are talking about the alcohol, so alcohol products and the alcohols are the flammable substances, and when these flammable substances are in the liquid state, then they are having a fire hazard. And when these alcohols are converted into vapors, and if these vapors are converted into vapor cloud, then there is a chances of vapor cloud explosion. So in terms of vapors, so that may be the alcohol vapors or that may be the gasoline or petrol vapors. So if the vapors are there, if the gases are there, so obviously there are chances of explosion. So these fire hazards and explosion hazards may be present in the distillation process. So there are some basic rules for this distillation process is: don't use an open flame indoors. In fact, don't use an open flame at all if you can avoid it. So we have to avoid this open flame indoors. So in the reboiler, we have to use some fuels we have to use the combustion process, and after combustion only this chemical energy is going to convert into steam, and then this steam is going to use for the distillation process for the separation purpose. So while doing that, we have to avoid this open flame indoors. Always ensure proper ventilation. Alcohol easily diffuses in the air and can explode at the very interaction with a spark or a flame. So again, we have to take care about this ventilation, means it is nothing but a dilution with the help of air. So we have to avoid the percentage of alcohol in the air should be reduced. So we can't reduce the alcohol quantity in the air, but we can add the air in the environment. So if you add the air in the environment, obviously that environmental factor and the environmental percentage, that is the alcohol percentage with reference to the air, is going to reduce. It is nothing but the dilution with the help of ventilations. Then avoid using glass containers, use metal and plastic only. So if glass containers are there and if any accident is happen, then there are more hazard due to this glass breaking. So metals and plastics are having more strength, as well as they are having less hazardous as compared to the glass, and that is why we have to prefer the glass container, sorry, we have to prefer the metal and plastic container instead of glass. Then the general guidelines regarding this distillation process are: place the receiver low on the floor away from the heat source. Also it is recommended to use a small naked receiver, so that if a fire starts, small naked opening is easier to extinguish. So if you go for this small naked receiver, and if we prefer which is going to place on the floor, then it is easy to extinguish this small naked opening. So our main area and the focus is this as compared to the uh, large scale or large neck opening. So in case of any fire, it is easy to extinguish. You can also wrap a damp cloth loosely around the tubing where it enters the receiver to keep the vapors in. So to avoid these vapors into the atmosphere, because when these vapors are enter into the atmosphere or nearby uh, particular components that is in the surrounding, then there is more hazard. So there is a chances of explosion due to these vapors, and that is why this is one of the solution, that you can ram the cloth loosely around the tubing where it enters the receiver. So we have to avoid these vapors to enter into the surrounding atmosphere. Never leave your pot still unattended, so that pot should be observed or supervised by the responsible person on a continuous basis. A hose line could fail, a receiver might overflow, and a dangerous vapors would get sprayed around, causing trouble. So there are different options. So if hose line is failed, then there are again more hazardous atmosphere is created. If receiver may be overflow, then there is a chance of fire again, there is a chance of sleeping, then there is a chance of explosion if the dangerous vapors are spread around these components. So we have to observe, we have to supervise these components and their hazards on a continuous basis. Avoid storing uncut alcohol around the house, or if you need to, make sure you are keep it in the refrigerator. So you have to place this alcohol in the refrigerator or at the low temperature, because generally most of the alcohols are having the less than 25 degrees Celsius as a boiling point, and some of the alcohols are having the boiling point in a minus. So if even 1 degree Celsius temperature is there, then there is also chances of conversion of this liquid into vapors. That is the main characteristics of this alcohol family. Anything warmer than that, you might be sitting next to the A taking bomb also don't store alcohol higher than 15% in plastic container, as sometimes plastic might dissolve in alcohol. So we have to check the compatibility of this alcohol material with that plastic, which type of plastic you are going to use. So here only general plastic wording is used. So that may be LDP, that may be HDP, that may be PVC, that may be PC, etc. So whatever the plastic type is there, so you have to check this plastic type and the alcohol compatibility, and then only we have to use that alcohol to store into the particular plastic containers. Avoid vapor leaks in your copper steel by making sure all the fittings are tight. So we have to check the vapor leaks. Then if you do got a leak, stop the heat source first and then attend to it. So whatever the sources of the heat source is there. So generally we are talking about the reboiler as a major component of heat source. So we have to stop this. So whatever may be the heat source, sometimes it is a electrical coil, sometimes it is a furnace, and sometimes it is a direct gas burner. So we have to stop this first and then we have to avoid this leaking. So these are some of the guidelines of safety measures during this distillation. So in case if fire catches, then what are the precautionary measures? So again, fire extinguisher is one of the main tool which can control this fire. And for the distillation processes, we have to use this CO2 as a fire extinguisher. So CO2 fire extinguisher is suitable for this distillation or the alcohol or the gasoline fire hazards. Then rinse the stills with water and wipe it with a clean cloth, and flush out all the tubing with the clean water. So we can use the clean water for rinsing, for cleaning of different apparatus. So that may be a steel, that may be a pot, that may be some other material. So we can use this clean water for cleaning purpose. Then we can also use the detergent solution for cleaning, but we have to avoid the perfume soap for the cleaning purpose. Enjoy your quality distilling time, but always keep safe. Believe it or not, there are worse things than a failed recipe, although that's pretty bad too. So here it is clearly mentioned that we have to avoid this distillation process at our home. Distillation process can be done in the laboratory, but again that is under the supervision of some expert. And if it is a commercial process, then we have to control all the parameters like pressure, temperature, and flow rate of the feed, flow rate of the reflux, flow rate of the vapors, then level of the reflux drum, the level of the steam or water in the reboiler, etc., with the help of sophisticated instrumentation and control techniques. So nowadays automation is there. Most of the industries prefer the automation, and that is why all these parameters like pressure, volume, temperature, flow rate can be controlled easily. So for the distillation, for the safety measures, first of all, we must know about the distillation process, and then we can follow these safety measure during the distillation process. Right? Now there is another parameter that is called as silos. So silo, actually it is a structure that may be used in the industry, that may be used in the agricultural, that may be used in the different places to store the different type of material. So somewhere it is used to store the bulk material such as grain or fermented feed, and then they can call it as silage, and most commonly used for the bulk storage of grain, cement, wood chips, food products, and sawdust. So depending on the requirement again, these silos can be utilized in some of the food industries, in some of the cement industries, in some of the chemical industries. These silos are generally utilized. So what are the safety precautions to be followed in this handling of the silos? So silos are in the an important part of many framing operations. However, they are also in the location of many accidents to framers and workers. So while construction, while welding, cutting, or some fabrication operations, we have to take care about the different parameters like the temperature, then the gases present in the silos or nearby silos, and then we have to check the whether it is under the confined space or near the confined space or not. Sometimes these silos are having a good height in terms of few meters. So that may be 3 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters, etc. depending on the requirement again. So again, we have to check the fall protections, fall hazards, etc. Sometimes we have to use the electricity in these silo storing, in this material storing in the silos or the processes. Then there are chances of electrocutions. So electric short circuit is also one of the hazard which may be present in this silos, and then hazardous atmosphere. So which type of material you are going to use in that silos? So on the basis of that, these hazardous atmosphere may be created. So sometimes we are using gases that may be a flammable or explosive gases. Sometimes we are using mold, etc. And on the basis of this material, these silos may be a hazardous one. So some silos may be under the confined space category. Sometimes we have to take care about the fall protection hazards. Sometimes we have to check about the electrocution chances, and sometimes we have to check about the hazardous materials. Sometimes these machine related injuries also happen related to these silos, and sometimes the silo collapses are all the potential hazards from these silos. So depending on the structure, the type of structure, the strength of structure, and the activities like vibrations, flow rate, their capacities, their loading capacities, etc., there are chances of collapses. If suppose there are chances of corrosion, if there are more humidity, more temperature in that area, then also we have to check the corrosion activity frequently for the silos. Otherwise, there are chances of collapsing of these silos. So these silos can contain deadly gases. So when we are using the gases in these silos, so they may contain deadly gases. The gases are formed by the natural fermentation of chopped silage shortly after it is placed in the silos. So sometimes in the, especially when we are talking about the food industry, then we are talking about the pharmaceutical industries, there are chances of gases created after the fermentation process, because sometimes we have to use this chopped silage and we have to enter these or load these chopped silage into the silos, and due to the fermentation process there are chances of creating the deadly gases in that silos. So we have to check frequently whether the gases are created or not. If the gases are created, then which type of gases are created, what are their characteristics, etc. And depending on the characteristics, we have to take care about these deadly gases in the silos. These gases can also be formed in a forage box if left overnight. Then gas collects in the upright silos within a few hours after new material is added like a feed, and as fermentation occurs, a variety of gases are released during this process. So we have to check or we have to take care, especially when the fermentation process is there or the fermentation material is used in these silos. Thank you.